What's going on, all my beautiful people in Facebook, YouTube, Instagram? I would say TikTok, but TikTok banned me for showing guns. So the hell with TikTok. Anyways, man, welcome back to another episode of Serious Strategics. And on this episode, I'm going to be going over in full detail the specifications of the Eotech. The Eotech. I can never remember the abbreviation. The EXPS3-1. That's EXPS3-1. That is today's episode. Alrighty, man. So jumping right into it, man. So here it is, man. The Eotech, man. The Eotech. What is it again? EXPS3-1. So here it is. It's already mounted on my Daniel Defense, my DM4A1. I'm not gonna take it off. It's already zeroed, and I ain't trying to be wasting more ammo trying to re-zero this thing. Even though when you do take it off and put it back on, it's still kind of on there. It's gonna be off just a little bit, so you're gonna have to re-zero, but it's not that bad if you put it back in the exact same spot where you took it from. But before we get into the actual visuals of the Eotech EXPS3-0, we're gonna do a unboxing that's not really an unboxing because it's already unboxed and put on the rifle. But anyways, I'm gonna show you guys what it comes in, and then we're gonna go over the specifications. So let's go on and get this rolling. So here it is. It comes in the standard Eotech packaging. It has the Eotech. It comes with this sleeve, this little cardboard sleeves right here that has all the specifications on the back. It has the model number on the side, Eotech HWS, which stands for those of you who don't know, HWS stands for holographic weapon sight. Alright, you know what I'm saying? Holographic weapon sight, HWS, makes sense. It's for maximal situational awareness through heads-up display holographic technology. But anyway, this is a 360 of the box, nothing special. Has a blue cardboard wrap on it, bottom, top. So we're gonna go ahead and slide the sleeve, the cardboard sleeve off. And this is the case that it comes in, the plastic case. Has Eotech on there. It says these commodities are controlled under the export administrations, the ERA, blah blah blah, Department of Commerce. Anyways, like I said, the model number here, and then this is the casing. So to open the casing, you want to slide these two knots open like that, and then you just pop this open. If I can get it open. Come on, don't do that for me on camera, man. Stop playing, man. When you open it up, this is what it looks like. It comes with the quick reference card, and it says right here, quick reference card for the EXPS3, and it's literally all the directions as a QR code, so you can pull up the directions on your phone. That's pretty cool. Comes with product registration form. I need to register this to make sure I can keep it on the warranty. Registration card right here. Comes with the Eotech sticker. You guys might be able to see it, maybe not. Eotech sticker. And then it comes with what is it? Oh, this is a warranty card right here. So there's a warranty card. All right. So when you open it up, it comes with the foam pad. The Eotech is going to be placed in this little slot. Use your imaginations. There's nothing else to it, man. Nothing in there, nothing special. Just a regular case. In case you guys want to see, the Eotech will be in here when you get it with all these instructions. Let's go ahead and put these stuff back. And then we're going to close the box up. And that's it for the box. Alright, my first impressions of this thing. The first generations of Eotech, I was never really a big fan of them. I wasn't a big fan of the first gens Eotechs because they were just super big and bulky. The battery life sucked more than they do now. The battery life improved a little bit. It has improved a little bit, but it's still not the greatest. It's not a red dot. It has way more technology, and so it's going to use a lot more battery life. So we're going to get into the specs, man. But my first impressions of this thing, I like the way it looks. It seems like they made them. This one is a little bit smaller compared to a lot of the other ones. I don't know. I didn't do my research to compare the actual size, but it just visually looks smaller. I don't know if it actually is smaller. It just looks visually smaller to me. I like it. It's not that bad. I mean, I like the looks of it. Of course, everybody know Eotech when you see an Eotech. It's a typical Eotech. I like it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the big ones, the one that has the big long nose, you know what I'm saying, look like Pinocchio nose sticking out. I'm not a big fan of that one, but I like these really short ones, the shorter ones, that it looks really good on rifles. So that's why I went with this one. I knew when I got the Daniel Defense, I knew that I wanted to get a quality optic on there, because you know you can't get a Daniel Defense and just throw some cheap optics on there. So I decided I wanted to go top of the line. So I wanted a red dot and I wanted a magnifier, because this rifle, when I originally was thinking of which rifle I want to get, I knew I wanted to get a Daniel Defense. I just wasn't sure if I wanted a PDW, the little short ones, or if I wanted a pistol, another pistol, or if I wanted an actual rifle. So I decided that I wanted to kind of meet in the middle of a rifle and a pistol. So I went with the 14.5 barrel length. It's not an SBR. It's not a technical SBR because it's 14.5. Of course, you know the muzzle device, the muzzle brake is pinned on weld, and it gives it 2 inches. So that actually makes it a 16-inch rifle. ATF, you know, 16 inches, but whatever. So I went with the 14.5 because I knew that I wanted a rifle that can kind of like, I can kind of maneuver around, kind of like an SBR, but I still wanted to have the maximum velocity and the maximum effectiveness of the 5.56 223 round. So I know I needed to go longer than 11.5 to get maximum effectiveness. So that's what I went with, the 14.5 barrel. It's kind of like an SBR, but it's not an SBR. But anyways, I already knew that I wanted a rifle that, like I said, handles like a SBR, looks like a SBR, that will give me the maximum muzzle velocity of the 5.56 and 223 rounds. So I went with the 14.5. So I knew I wanted to be a CQB rifle with the ability to go to mid-range distance. You know what I'm saying? I didn't build it to be a long-range rifle. I didn't want it to be a long-range rifle because I know I'm probably not going to be shooting long ranges for the most part. But I knew it's going to be, you know, super close CQB type ranges or mid-range, you know what I'm saying, up to 100, 200 yards, you know, maximum. I didn't build it to reach 600 yards, to reach 1,000 yards. I'm not saying that it can't reach it. It can reach it with the right optic. That's why I chose this one, because this is a quick detach optic. So if I really want to, I could just take off these optics real quick and put on, you know what I'm saying, an actual scope on there to reach those further distance if I really want to. So that's one of the reasons what I was thinking when I got this Eotech for this rifle, for this sighting system. With the magnifier, I know I can reach out to 300-400 yards easy with the magnifier, but if I really want to, I can just flip these off and throw on an LPVO real quick and, you know what I'm saying, get those longer distances if I need it. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the Eotech. All right, first things first, price. Let's talk about the price. The Eotech price, as you know, the Eotech prices is not for the faint of heart. They're pretty pricey right off the top. They're pricey optics. But you're paying for what you get for. You're paying what you get. You know what I'm saying? You're paying for what you want. Like, you know, if you want to have top quality, you got to pay for top quality. So Eotech is top quality. Right out the gate, you're going to be spending almost 800 beans and mashed potatoes. I don't want to say anything with dollar amounts on there because I don't want YouTube to demonetize my videos. So you're going to be paying right under 800 beans and potatoes, right, for this optic if you want it, if you catch what I'm saying. So just the optic alone, not the magnifier. The magnifier is another almost 800 beans and potatoes. So that tells you how much the optic, the sighting system for this rifle is right off the top. It's a little bit pricey. So like I said, it ain't for the faint of heart. You got to save up and do what you got to do to get you an Eotech if you really want one. Just do what you got to do to get one, but don't go homeless trying to get one. So some of the specifications that I want to point out about for the EXPS3-0. All right, one of the main features about this is that you have 4 reticle options. This one, since it's the 0, it only has the single option, the circle dot option. But if it was the EXPS3-, let's say 3, you would have the 4 or 3 different reticle options or whatever. So it has capability of 4 reticle options if you get the EXPS3. So let's talk about, it's on a 7mm raised mount, a quick detach mount. You can just literally pull this latch here, right here, pull it off and take the mount right off. Same thing with the magnifier. You can see the latch right here, pull that latch off. So I can take these off in 2 seconds if I really need to. Like I said, I could throw a quick detach LPVO on here and I can get those longer distances if I need to reach out further distances. With the 7mm raise QD system that's on here, you will have a lower 1/3 co-witness with iron sights if you have the iron sights mounted in the front. As you can see, I have 45-degree angle iron sights so the co-witness is not gonna be a factor for me, so it doesn't matter because like I said, my iron sights are at an angle, so it's not gonna co-witness with this sight anyways. The weight of this is 11.2 ounces, so it's a little bit weighty, but it's not that bad, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Another special feature about the EXPS-0 is that it's water resistant up to 33 feet of water. Now, if you're a Navy SEAL and you're out there in the water, this is going to be perfect for you. If you live in like a state like Washington State where it's raining all the time, this is going to be perfect for you. If you live in Colorado where it's just always randomly decided to snow and rain on you, this is going to be perfect for you. If you live in any state where it rains a lot and you're going to be around water a lot, then this will be the perfect site because it's water resistant up to 33 feet. That's a big plus in my book. So one of the features that it also has, it has 20 daylight settings, and it also has another 10 additional settings for NVGs. Yes, this is the NVG version. As you can see, it has a little the NV right here button. You push that button and you're only going to be able to see the reticle with NVGs on. So this is the NVG model. I decided to go with that model because I'm probably most likely going to get NVGs in the near future so I can run this thing. Another thing to note, I also work with all Gen 1 to Gen 3 NVG models. So whatever that means, if you have a Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 NVG, it's going to work with it. So that's cool to know. That's some cool stuff. If you got NVGs already, you already know it's going to run. If you got a Gen 1 to Gen 3, you should be straight. Let's talk about battery. It is powered by a CR123 battery, and it gives you about 1,000 hours of usage. So that's not a lot compared to red dots, but this is not a red dot. This is a holographic sight. It has way more technology inside of it than any red dot, so it's going to use a lot more battery. So that's why the battery time kind of sucks. But like I said, if you're using this for any type of law enforcement, military application, any type of duty type application, it's going to be well worth it to just replace those batteries every couple of months. Just throw in a new battery, and you know what I'm saying, just order the batteries in bulk. If you have to, order the batteries in bulk, and every couple months, just, you know what I'm saying, if you're police, military, any type of law enforcement, doing any type of missions, just make sure that you change out the battery at least every other month or so, and you should be straight, man. Who is the Eotech EXPS3-0 built for? It's built for, like I said, military personnel. If you're a shooter and you want the best holographic sight out there to get a quick heads up display, and like it says in the box, if you want to keep your situational awareness, because when you bring that rifle up, you know what I'm saying, your eyes is open. I'm going to move the magnifier. When you bring that rifle up, boom, the reticle is right there. So I have all my views because I don't have to close my eye to try to find it. You know what I'm saying? You just bring it up, and it's a huge glass. The glass is pretty big once you bring it up. I know it looks small on the rifle compared to the rifle, but when you bring this up into your sight, you know, to your line of sight, that glass is pretty big, and you can see that dot. And like I said, you continue to have situational awareness because just how it is, like, it's just there. It's just there. All you have to do is just look at the target, keep your eyes on the target, and bring that rifle up, and boom, it's right there. Like I said, it's built for any type of law enforcement, military. If you're a hardcore shooter, if you train a lot, if you shoot a lot, if you take shooting seriously, this is built for you. Because I mean, it's built tough. It has a lifetime. It has the Eotech. I'm pretty sure it's a lifetime warranty. I need to actually verify that myself, but you know what I'm saying, Eotech have no problem. If you have any issues with this, you send it back to Eotech. They're going to honor their warranty, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's break down what these letters in the name stands for. We know it's the Eotech. I already told you what the HWS is, the holographic weapon sight. That's what HWS is. But what does the E in EXPS3 stand for? So what the E indicates is that it has the side buttons. It has the buttons, adjustment buttons on the side instead of the rear. As you know, the regular Eotech models have the buttons in the back, but if you have a magnifier, it will be kind of hard to press those buttons right here. So that's why the buttons on the side, and that's what the E indicates in this sight. Now I know you're gonna ask me, all right, what does the X stand for? So what does the 3 in EXPS3 stand for? The 3 just means that this is actually night vision capable. Like I said, you see the NVG, you see the NV button right there. That's a night vision button. That's what the 3 and the EXPS3 stands for. And what does the -0 means, you ask? I know you guys are gonna ask me, so what does that 0 mean in the -0? It just means that it has a standard 1 MOA dot on it, man. That's what the O stands for. All right, so things you need to know about the Eotech. If you're shooting this thing, right, you're on the range and you're shooting and you're getting your old shoot on. So if you're shooting this thing and it just starts flashing and blinking, it's trying to tell you, hey buddy, the battery's about to die on you, playboy. So I hope you got a CR123 battery laying around somewhere, because I'm about to turn off. And the thing about the Eotechs, it doesn't gradually turn off and fade off all slow. It'll just randomly just shut down completely off. Glass blank. It doesn't give you, the only warning it gives you is when it starts flashing and blinking. So if you're shooting and it's just constantly flashing and blinking, it's trying to tell you, hey buddy, you might want to think about replacing the battery. You might want to think about putting a battery in, because I'm about to turn the hell off. So let's talk about the glass. Let's talk about the HUD. What's the HUD? The HUD, you ask? It's called, the HUD stands for heads up display. So what do I think about the HUD, the heads up display in the Eotech? Like I said earlier, it's pretty awesome, man. The glass is pretty clear. There's limited tinting. Matter of fact, I don't see any tint when I'm looking through it, but when you look at it from an angle, when you look at the glass, it looks like it have like tint. It'll change colors, but I guess that's just glass doing its thing, reflecting light. But when you actually bring this up, there is actually no tint. I don't see any tint through the glass at all. The glass just looks super clear. Like I said, it's an awesome piece of glass, man. And one of the things that one of the good things about having a holographic sight, in case you didn't know, right, unlike a red dot, right, so when you have a red dot, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be an emitter in the front of the red dot, and that emitter is flashing the dot on the glass, and the glass is just reflecting the dot from the emitter. The thing about a holographic sight is that there's no emitter emitting it onto the glass. The holograph is on the, it's like it's on the glass. It's weird, but it's not reflecting from an emitter. So even if the glass is broke, right, even if you break the glass is shattered, you're still gonna see the dot right there. So hey, don't ask me how this works. Don't ask me how this black magic works. I just call it black magic, you know what I'm saying? It's really science, but the glass is pretty cool. The glass is pretty tough. You all know Eotechs, man. These things are damn near bomb-proof, man. They're damn near bulletproof. If you get shot directly in the glass, that's a bad day. The glass is actually a 30 by 23 millimeter window. So this is 30 by 23 glass. So it's a pretty decent sized glass, especially for a rifle. It's a good glass. You can't miss that reticle. You have your situational awareness. It's awesome. I love it, man. All right. Some questions that some of you might have. Hey, Mr. Army veteran Staff Sergeant Seeley. Hey, man, if that optic is almost 800 beans and potatoes, right? Does it have shake awake technology, man? Does it have shake awake technology? No, it doesn't. I know, trust me. I wish Eotech would get with the times and get some shake awake technology on here, but it doesn't have any shake awake technology. But what it does have is an auto shut off that still not, I still think they need some work on the auto shut off, because there's two auto shut off modes. One of the modes to auto shut off, right? So when I turn this red dot on, if I press the up button, if that's the last button I push, it will shut off. It will auto shut off in 8 hours. Eotech, that's still a long time. 8 hours? 8 hours, that's a full mission. So if I fall asleep, you know what I'm saying, 8 hours is gonna be on before it turns off. Come on, Eotech, look at me. Come on, Eotech, let's get it together. That's not that. We need shorter auto shut off times, Eotech. At least 30 minutes. Is 30 minutes auto shut off too much to ask for? But anyways, I know what you guys are saying. 8 hours is hella long. But wait, there's good news. Kinda good news. If the last button you press on this optic is the down button, it's gonna auto shut off in a whopping 4 hours. Eat your heart out, Hollow Sun. Eotech, man. Hey, Eotech, I love y'all, man. But we gotta get it together with the auto shut off, man. Come on, man. 8 and 4 hours, man. That's too much time. At least an hour. At least auto shut off in an hour. I think that's a decent amount of time. Don't you guys agree with me? Comment in the comments below if you guys agree with me that it should have an auto shut off of 1 hour, man. If you don't use it in an hour, shut it down, man. Come on, man. Come on, Eotech. Let's get it together, Eotech. Come on. I know people are gonna have some questions, right? Hey, Staff Sergeant, how would I be able to tell if my Eotech is a fake? So there's a couple ways. There's a lot of ways that you can actually tell if you got a fake Eotech, but I'm only gonna cover some of the main basic ones, right? So if you turn on your Eotech and you have a dual color display between red or green, you got a fake. You got a fake. If you turn on your Eotech and you have the options to change the reticle color to red or green, you got a fake. Eotech does not have dual emitters, man. Eotech does not have dual emitters. So if you have an Eotech and you got red and green options to change it, it's a fake. Right out the gate, it's a fake. So that's one of the main ways to tell. If you have the option to toggle between red and green, it's a fake. Another way to tell that is if you got a fake, if you hit the night vision button and you can see the red dot with your naked eye, or the red dot, or you're not the red dot. If you can see your night vision dot, if you can see the reticle on your display in any shape or form, you got a fake. Because when you turn on the night vision, you can't see it in the naked eye, man. You can't see it in the naked eye. The only way you can see that reticle is if you got NVGs. Another way to tell if you got a fake is that if I point this Eotech on you and it's on, and you in front of me can see my reticle, you can see the red, or if you got the green reticle, if you can see my reticle from the front, it's a fake. Straight up, it's fake. No questions asked. You know, when I turn this on, when you turn this on and you look from the front end, you cannot see anything. There's absolutely that they built it that way, so that way if you're operating somewhere in the night, dead of night, and you're using your Eotech, you're using NVGs, you can see the dot, but the bad guy, if the bad guy is looking at you, he can't see it. You know, that's the whole purpose, for nobody can see it from the front. So if you can see your reticle from the front when you turn on your Eotech, it's a fake. Now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna talk about some of the negatives. We're gonna talk about some of the negatives about the Eotech that I've seen. Cause I mean, you guys already know it's Eotech, man. I don't have to sit here and I don't have to say a lot about the Eotech, man. Y'all already know what it is. It's an Eotech. Everybody, there's a billion reviews out there telling you how great Eotechs are. So I don't need to sit here and tell you how great the Eotech is. It's just a great reticle. It's just a great optic. If you don't know, it's a great optic. So the first negative that I think about the Eotech, that comes to mind when I think about the Eotech, is the price. It's super pricey. Is that a good thing? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because something is expensive, that don't mean that it's great. You know what I'm saying? There probably is cheaper red dots for rifles that are better. I mean, I don't know. Like, you know, it just depends. It depends, because what I think might be better, you might not think is better. You might think something else is better. I might not think it's better. So the price is one of the biggest negative. It's almost 900 beans and potatoes. If you guys just tuning in, I'm trying not to say any type of dollar amounts on my videos because I don't want to get them demonetized. But it's almost about 900 beans and potatoes, man. So it's pretty pricey. That's one of the big negative about the Eotech. Another negative about the Eotech is the battery life. Eotechs have always had some of the worst battery lives out there. They're getting a little bit better. You know, it's a thousand hours, man. 1,000 run hours is it's not that bad, but it's not that great compared to other options out there, such as the SIG. You know what I'm saying? The SIG red dot optics, man, they have run times that are like 50,000 hours and 80,000 hours and some craziness like that, man. So when you compare those 50,000 to a SIG, and then you only got 1,000 in Eotech, it's like, that's something you got to think about. So like I said, that is a big negative. That's one of the biggest negative that I've always said Eotechs had, is they have crappy battery lives, especially for the price point. Another negative that I think that Eotech have, because comparing to optics like SIG and Hollow Sun optics, they got shake awake technology. So I don't know what Eotech is waiting for. I think that's an awesome feature, because like I said, you just turn your stuff on, and if you're on mission, if you're, you know what I'm saying, if you're out somewhere deployed in Afghanistan or wherever you are, and you know what I'm saying, and you're sleeping, you put your rifle down and the auto shuts off, and something happened, you pop up and grab your rifle. You don't have to sit there and try to, oh man, you don't have to sit there and try to, oh man, let me turn on, hold on, let me press my red dot real quick. You know what I'm saying? They should have that shake away technology, especially for military and law enforcement, so you don't have to sit there and worry about turning it on. You just, minute you touch it, sense any vibration, it's on and ready to rock and roll, man. So I think that's another big negative, that it doesn't have the shake away technology. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what Eotech is waiting for, but they need to get with the times, man. And then another negative that I feel that it has, which I already mentioned it earlier, is the auto shut off times, man. I mean, 8 hours and 4 hours to automatically shut off, man. I think that's way too much time. If Eotech can bring that down, I would say at least an hour, at least if they can make it where you can set it where you have an hour. If you press the button, you have an hour to shut off. Press it up, an hour to shut off. You press the button down, it gives you 30 minutes. I think that will be a much more better, realistic option to have for auto shut off, instead of waiting 8 or 4 hours to shut off, man. I think that's way too much time to shut off. So there you have it, man. That's my spiel about the Eotech. Like I said, the EXPS3-0 holographic red dot sight. And I'm gonna just do a quick rundown about the G43, man. The G43, the box and everything, the packaging is exactly the same, so I'm not gonna bore you with showing you the boxes. The G43 magnifier, man, it's a 3-time magnifier. I really wanted to go with a 4-time magnifier just so I can reach out a little bit further, but I really didn't want it to be that big. I wanted it to be really small and compact, like the G3. As you can see, it's pretty small. It's not going past my charging handle, and that's specifically why I wanted it. Yes, I'm losing a little bit of magnification because it's a 3-time magnification, but I like it because, like I said, it's pretty compact. I didn't want it to be sticking out too far. I didn't want the eye relief to be crazy. And one of the big things to note about the magnifier is when you put one of the Eotech magnifiers on your Eotech, it's not gonna magnify the dot. A lot of people have this thing, they don't like magnifiers because they think it's gonna magnify the dot and make the dot huge in the magnifier. It doesn't. What the magnifier does is, it's like really hard to explain. Imagine you take a picture, right? You take a picture of something, and then when you zoom in, right? So whatever you're taking, so let's say I put a dot, let's say I put a circle on a picture, and I'm looking through that dot. That's what it's gonna look like. But if I zoom into that picture, the dot and the picture is gonna get bigger or smaller, not just the dot. So what I'm trying to say is, when you magnify, when you're looking through the magnifier on target, the dot doesn't get bigger. The whole image you're looking at gets bigger, so the dot stays the same. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. It magnifies the whole picture, not just the dot. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that the dots, if you put a magnifier, flip it over, the dot's going to be bigger and cover up the target. No, the dot and the target are going to be the exact same size. It's just going to get bigger. I hope that makes sense. I remember when I was in the store, we weighed it, and I believe it was 11.5 ounces. And the sight itself was 11.2. So it was a couple ounces heavier than the optic. And I believe it's because the glass in the G43 is just a little bit thicker, because since they made it smaller, I guess they had to make the glass a little bit thicker. So that's where those extra 0.23 ounces came from. Overall, I love this thing. If you're in the market for a top of the line holographic red dot sight and you got the money, or you just want to save up, put it in a layaway, do what you got to do to get it, I think it's definitely worth it. If you ask me if it's worth it, I think it's worth it. If you ask me, do you think everybody should go out and get this optic? I don't think so, because honestly, I think there are more, I don't want to say better options, but I feel that there's other options out there that's way more cost effective that would give you about almost the same results, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying go out and buy a 900 bean optic. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a 900 bean optic. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you shot Eotechs before, and you know how fast it is to get on target with the Eotech, you know that it's kind of an advantage. Like, having an Eotech on your rifle is kind of like a cheat code. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so easy to get on target. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so easy. It's just there. That dot is just there. It's like you just bring it up on target and boom, you're ready to shoot. You bring it up on target and you're ready to shoot. So having a Eotech holographic sight on your rifle, it's like a cheat code. That's why those guys in Call of Duty be going ham with the Eotechs, man. You know what I'm saying? They got the Eotechs on there. They be going ham. And then the magnifier, like I said, close quarters, you just, you know what I'm saying? You get on target, boom, boom, boom. If I see another target over there shooting, I'll literally just flip the sight and boom, I'm back on target, boom, boom, boom. If I gotta come back close, boom, 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 boom. If I gotta go back, boom, boom, boom. And you know what I'm saying? So it's super fast and it's super easy to get that sight picture, man. So that's why I think Eotech is worth it. I think it's super fast to get on target. It's super fast to get that sight picture. The faster you get your sight picture, the faster you can start sending lead down range, and that's what you want in a gunfight. You want to be able to get that sight picture so you can send lead as soon as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. The Eotech, like I said, is it worth it? I think it's worth it. Do you have to go out and get one? No, I don't think so. There's other options. I'm not going to say there's better options, but there's other options out there that cost way, way less, that'll give you almost the exact same results for the most part. But Eotech just have a little bit better advantage just because of the sighting, the size of the glass. You know, it's just faster to get on target. So if you think those extra $400 or $500 is worth it, then get it. If you think that it's not that worth it, you can do the same thing with, like, you know, a Holosun rifle red dot, or SIG line or rifle red dots, or whatever, you know, Swamp Fox, whatever you want to use. If you feel that, you know, that's enough for what you need to do, then get those. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying you have to get an Eotech. You have to be a cool kid and get an Eotech to be at a cool kids club. No, man, get what you can afford. If Holosuns, Swamp Fox, SIGs, if they do it for you and they get the job done, because I have SIGs on my other rifles and I love my SIGs. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just wanted to just go all out with this one. You know, like I said, this one is my commemorative army rifle that I bought myself. You know what I'm saying? I treated myself to this because this is my army retirement gift to myself, you know. So I just went all out on it. So I'm not saying go out there and spend all this money on a holographic sight and a magnifier. I'm not saying that. Like I said, I did that because I wanted to spoil myself on my military service. This was a gift to me. But do you need one? No, you don't need one. You honestly don't. SIGs will do just fine. The Swamp Fox will do just fine. The Holosuns will do just fine. But if you want top of the line and you just want to kind of have a little Gucci'd out, you know, kit, you know what I'm saying, then get you an Eotech, man. But anyways, man, that's it for today, man. We'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, make sure you guys like, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys turn on those notification bells so you guys get notified every time we drop another bang, 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 banging video, man. It's your boy, Stats Aren't Silly. And until next time, man, we'll see you in the next episode, man. Remember, always be ready so you don't have to get ready. Be greater than you were yesterday. We live to train because we train to live. Stats Aren't Silly's out.